Hey Wolfpack, how you doing? And happy brownie day. Intro hand. Whoop-wah. So today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm not going to talk about my day. I'm going to talk about books. Books, the best things in the world. Better than people. But yeah, I've got my stack of best books. Not best books at the moment that I feel. Best books that have been my favourites at points in my life. They might not all be my favourite right now, like I've got different favourites all over my life, but I'm going to go through the ones that I have had as favourites in my life. So the first one is Frank and the Black Hamster of Narkis. Yeah, this is like the oldest book I have in the house. I don't even know if I own this. I think it's primary schools, but I found this. Ross Brannigan P4RB. That was 9 years ago I was reading this. 9 years ago in primary school. I've read it hundreds of times and it's so cool. John Steinbeck of Mice and Men. Amazing short book, shortest of John Steinbeck. But it's a great book for showing you the humanity of mankind, I guess you could say, like our ethics and stuff. But it's an amazing book, check it out. Of Mice and Men, obviously, Hobbit. Has to be done, but it is a brilliant book. The way it's written is unlike anything I've ever read before, ever. It's just so friendly, so open. I think it's not like written from Bilbo's point of view. It's not an author saying like, this is the story of Bilbo. This is J.R.R. Tolkien talking to you. He's actually telling you the story of Bilbo. It's nothing like, you know, alien. Like, I'll read it. If you've not read The Hobbit, you really... Where have you been living your life? Note on the text. Okay, in a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit. Not a nasty, dirty, wet hole filled with the ends of worms and an oozy smell, nor yet a dry, bare, sandy hole with nothing in it to sit down on or to eat. It was a hobbit hole, and that meant comfort. That's great! I just love that. It's just so cool. I couldn't really... I will. Chronicles of Narnia. I haven't read these in ages. Like, I've read the full bunch of them, but they're awesome. But the best one, I feel... If I can get it out. Come on! Not that one. Not that one. That! The Horse and His Boy. C.S. Lewis. Check it out. It's a brilliant book. It doesn't really follow the original tale of, like, Peter, Edmund, Lucy, and Susan, but it is awesome! Asterix. This isn't a book, this is a comic, but Asterix is awesome. It's French, set in the Roman Empire times. Oh, it's so good. I've not read these in ages, but like, they're awesome. What else is there here? Bill Bryson, Notes from a Big Country. This is all about his life in America, things about America. I didn't enjoy his book, Bill Bryson Down Under, which is about Australia, but this, a brilliant book. Another book that you should check out by Bill Bryson is A Short History of Nearly Everything. It may be slightly complicated if you're not into science and things like that, or have any background knowledge of science, but it is an awesome book. This is awesome too, check it out. Boom! Terry Pratchett, The Amazing Morris. My first Terry Pratchett book I read, Amazing Morris, brilliant book. This is my own. It's not really my own, it has my story in it. I will find it. Just give me a second. What page is it on? Like, this is a collection of stories by kids. Ross Brannigan, I was 14, 21. But it was basically, our teacher said, write a story about something unexpected. It was like 50 words or something like that. Yeah, 50 words, and basically everybody wrote about death. Well, mine was about death as well, but everyone was about realistic death. Like, I'll find a typical one that was like, you know, people getting hit by cars and yeah, here, crash bang wallop, the car swerves off the road straight into a ditch. Tom died, blah blah blah, looks at blah. Unconscious and calls an ambulance. There's barely any movement. They are both trapped. Later, blah 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 blah. You get the idea. But mine, here we go. I'll lift it up. The man pranced joyfully down the road. It was a beautiful Sunday morning. As he walked, he heard birds singing, children playing, and the running of the clear water in the river. His wife would have made his breakfast of sausages and bacon when he returned. Then he self-combusted. It just makes me laugh. Self-combustion, you know, you explode spontaneously. Oh well. Why Does E Equal MC Squared by Brian Cox and Jeff Forshaw. An awesome book about space and time, how time works, how reality works. It's awesome. We Free Men, another Terry Pratchett book. This was the second Terry Pratchett book I read. Awesome first book to the series. It's so good. I couldn't really pick. I didn't want to have the whole trilogy of Lord of the Rings here, so I decided Two Towers is probably the best, just for the action in it. It's the center book, so you know it's not like the starting out and it's not the end. I mean, the end of the Return of the King made me so sad when Frodo and everyone else just went off, and you're like, no. But this is super awesome. We're getting there. I know it's 6 minutes long. Stormbreaker by Anthony Horowitz. The most modern kind of book I've ever read. I'm not into a lot of modern fantasy, like into decoding computers and stuff like that. Mine is all about dragons and fucking everything else. If I was to choose any Harry Potter book that I enjoyed the most, it's Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I don't know why. It's just brilliant. I mean, J.K. Rowling's new book isn't brilliant, but this is great. It's a shame that they let it down in the film. Okay, we're getting to the big one now. Bah! Eldest by Christopher Paolini. This is the best out of the Inheritance cycle. It's a cycle of 4 books, and it's all about dragon riders. It's so good. If you haven't seen Eragon the film, watch it. The book is better, but at the moment I've still got to read the last book. I've read Brissinger. I just have to finish Inheritance, and then it'll be over. But I've currently got Game of Thrones on at the moment. But yeah, Eldest. If you're a person who wants to get into writing, because I'm going to start writing my own stuff just now, is I'm going to leave a link in the doobly-doo. But there's an interview that Christopher Paolini does about what inspires him, why he writes, what he writes about, tips on how to get into writing and stuff like that. And I think it helps me a lot. He also gives advice on what books you should read if you want to get into storytelling and things like that. And obviously the final one, Game of Thrones. Different to any kind of book I've ever read. It feels more like a book of history. Most books are just like based on one main character the whole way through, but this is like, obviously each chapter has a different person's name, and therefore it doesn't really have a main character as such. But you begin to love the character of Eddard Stark. But yeah, it's awesome. It's unlike anything I've ever read. You need to check out Game of Thrones if you haven't read them. I haven't watched the TV series, but I think I might get the season 1 for my Christmas, because by then I will have finished this. So yeah, there we are. My oldies are all gone. I think they're in the bin. But yeah, this is the collection of awesome books. Obviously, I've got things I want to read, like Parade's End, The Magician by Raymond Weiss or something. What else? There's Great Expectations by Charles Dickens is one I also want to read. And what's up there? I don't want to read. I've got them up there as well. No, I want to read Midnight Palace and Winter Ghosts by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. I want to read them as well. So yeah, there we go. That's all I wanted to talk about today. If you want to post a comment about your favourite books. It can be anything you like. I mean, these are just ones that are just at that period of time were my favourite book. I mean, I'm not a massive fan, I must say, of the Black Hamster of Narcas anymore. So, and I'm more of a Game of Thrones and Eragon and stuff like that fan. There we go. I hope you all have a lovely brownie day, and I will see you all tomorrow. I have work tonight. So I'm going to write this afternoon. I'm going to take a break today from everything. So yeah, everyone have a lovely brownie day, and I will see you all tomorrow. And then,